know, we have had several vacuum cleaners sent to us for review by Greenote. Here is my GSC50, which has been my cordless vacuum cleaner of choice for several months now. If you watch my channel, you will have seen the monthly updates. But today, we have another one. Greenote sends us this to have a look at, to give our opinions of, and for me to show you how it works. This is their latest cordless vacuum cleaner, the GSC60. Let's have a look at what they have improved upon from their previous generations, see how well it works, see what you get, because you get a lot in this model, and generally have a look. Yes, hello, my cordless vacuum cleaner chums. How are you today? Yes, this is Greenote's latest offering, the GSC60. Obviously, we've had the GSC40. This is the GSC50, and this is the GSC60. Here are its credentials. According to the specs, it has 1,000 kPa more power than their previous model. So it'll be interesting to see how well that translates to, picking up dirt, because hey, this works really well. You can see it is very, very full indeed. And yeah, it works really, really well in everything I have used it for. This, well, already the box feels a lot heavier than the previous models. And I haven't seen this quick start guide before. Look, you have the full setup guide, how to clean the brush. Nice to know that's still very simple indeed. How to remove and clean the filter. Again, nice and easy with a Greenote. And look, this bit looks quite familiar. We have ourselves a manual and a warranty card. Oh, we have a storage bag, look, branded with the Greenote logo, I presume, because you do get a lot of tools with this. You're going to need somewhere to put them, so we'll put the bag there and, well, dive in, really, because we have a lot to unpack. Oh, there's even some nice little corner pieces in the phone. Typical Greenote packaging, a nice dual layer design, so you have half of the stuff at the top and then half of the stuff underneath, and the main machine sits down here. Put it out, and that's a fairly different design to the previous models. Certainly a lot more modern looking. Seems very nice. Very light in the hand, but of course the battery isn't fitted yet. So we'll pop that down there. What else do we get? We get ourselves a tool holder and some screws for the wall-mounted docking station. Combination dusting brush and upholstery tool with removable / adjustable brushes. Yeah, fairly soft, not too bad at all. Yeah. Nice brush roll cleaning brush, a wide upholstery tool, mattress tool, I don't know how you would call that. I'm assuming these are spare filters. Greenote normally give you filters in the machine, and yes, they have. We'll come on to those shortly. But that is excellent to see, a nice spare set of washable filters. Here is the happiest little wall dock you have ever seen. The tools, well, two of them will sit there, and you put 2 screws for its eyes and stick it to the wall, and somehow, I haven't looked yet, we'll have a look later, the machine will dock onto there. Bar that, the only other things in the bottom of the box is an extension hose. Now, I've had these before on previous cordless vacuums, and they are quite handy. They'll be even handier on a Greenote, because assuming it works the same way, again, we haven't figured that out yet, the trigger is a switch, so it just stays on, which is excellent when you're trying to use a hose without having to hold a trigger in the other hand. And it's a very long length of hose as well. Very nice indeed. Then we have this, which is, it might need a bit of straightening out after being in this box. This is a long, flexible crevice tool, which I can already see a few uses for. Down the side of the cabinets, down the side of the fridge. That's quite an interesting looking tool to include. And that's everything from the bottom layer. Blimey. Time to start on the top, and we'll take out the floor brush, which is very different to previous Greenote models. Oh my, that is a very decent looking floor head. For comparison, this is their older style. I mean, you can see how much I've used it. Currently, it's damp grass that is causing it to look so filthy, and yeah, they have improved upon it. A nice chunky looking inner hose, a much bigger base plate, and a very much different brush roll. Different but similar. A nice stiff row here, and then two soft rows here. And I would imagine that the whole thing comes out for nice, easy maintenance and cleaning. I like that little push knob there, assuming it lasts and is resilient, which we'll find out as the months go on. So, a redesigned floor head, that's good to see. We have the standard type of crevice tool there. Then there's this. Now this is something that Electrolux used to do back in the 1980s and early 1990s. You would have your standard wand, and all that is far better. All the wiring is included inside of it. If you look on the older style one, you know, it sits at the back, and it's fine. I haven't noticed or really cared about it, but they have now popped everything into one unit, so that's going to be a bit easier. Then you get this little tiny extension piece, which I'm assuming gives it a lot more length, whether that's because, yeah, they're the same length of wand, and I never really found it much of an issue before, so be interested to see how much this extra length helps. Oh, of course, you could have a bit of extra length for the tools, rather than having to put them straight onto the machine. Oh, what else have we got? Mini turbo tool, very good indeed. Give that a try later. We have the charger, which is a nice, easy to replace DC barrel jack, 35 volts at 1 amp, 35 watts. And then finally, the removable battery. Rather than being inbuilt now, it is separate to the machine, and it should just slide on like so, and we can turn this machine on for the first time once we remove this sticker here. Pop that there. We have 41% battery. Yeah, that's not bad. Oh, that's quite powerful on max. And you can change the speeds there, and also down here on the battery. So that's pretty cool. That's not bad at all. And yeah, that is the machine. The bin, push this little flap down here, little twist, and the shroud comes out. And then I say a little twist again, and the filter should come out, although I might have to read the manual on that. It seems a bit stiff. We'll wait until we get some dirt in it. So, the Greenote GSC60. You get a lot of stuff with it. Lots and lots of options indeed. You have your little flexible crevice tool. You have your little turbo nozzle. You've got everything. Dusting brush, upholstery tool. Very nice indeed. But I am quite intrigued to see how this floor head is going to cope. So let us put all this to one side for now and see what it's like on the flooring. Right, I've got some of the tools away. I have fitted the two to the wand that I'm going to want to use, and we can put the wand onto the floor head. We can fit the machine to the wand, and yeah, I personally, tilt you up a little bit, I personally find that perfectly long enough indeed. But of course, if you wanted to do above the floor, I'd imagine that will make me be able to get to the top of my stairs. But for now, I'm very intrigued with this floor head and do have some decent hope for it. Let us turn it on and do the first vacuuming with this brand new machine. Look, it's not going to be this shiny anymore. We'll leave it in its default setting to start with. No, that's not bad. It's, I don't know really, it's not clamping itself down, but it's picking up all of the bits. Indeed, let's put it up a notch. Oh, that's it. It now pulls itself down. Yeah, thoroughly decent. Hey, being a big brush roll, it doesn't stop itself when it hits the edge of my rug. That's pretty nice. But yeah, in its default setting, you run it around, you pick all your bits up with perfect ease. I mean, compared to this one, GSC50 seems to have a slightly higher default power level than this one, but this one, I mean, that's not bad. Look at how much it's just picked up from this rug. And we can empty it by pushing down on the bottom flap, like so. To get into the filter, we push this down, and then the whole bin twists off of the motor assembly. So this is your motor. In there. Obviously the battery here, and this is a post-motor filter. So you have a lot of filtration here. Again, very washable, just like the pre-motor filter. That sits in there. And yeah, this is how you get to this filter, like so. There's no outer skin like the 50 has, which I do quite like because it does stop the dirt from going into the filter. It keeps more of it on the outside. So it just needs a little tap out. But yeah, you have a nice shroud here. It's going to be what it'll be, and you get two filters, so you certainly have plenty of opportunity to give them a wash, and that can go onto there. Let's try out the mini turbo tool, which I've all put back in the bag now, and see how well it picks up this dirt that we've just put down. That's a lot nicer to use than the turbo head that the GSC50 came with. I think they've redesigned this a little bit. Yeah, that's actually very pleasant now. Yeah. Very nice indeed. Right, so carpet, yeah, big tick. Small tools, yeah, big tick. But my house has primarily hard flooring. So let us move the birds out of the way, because the filth is always under the bird cage, and see how well this floor head works on the hard floor. I'm reasonably confident because there's enough gaps here that it hopefully won't snowplow. Actually not as filthy as I would like it to be, because I gave you the clean the other day with the Greenote. So we have some though. This is again just the bird mess from the back of the cage. On hard floor, yes, this brush roll is very nice indeed. The cobweb there we go. Yeah. Doesn't snowplow any of the seed, pulls the feathers in, and I have more hard floor than carpet. So, you know, I think this is going to be perfectly fine indeed. Under the table. Oops. I hit the button with my hand, and of course with the tools being on the machine, we can take off the upholstery tool, pop it onto our wand, and I will put it into a higher power now. Very nice indeed. Let's pay a bit more attention to these small tools. and we'll give the hose a try. Under here is lots of nice dry bird debris, and the brilliant thing about this Greenote is going to be that I can turn it on and just leave it there, and then we will stick it. There we go. Yeah, very good. He said, problem is the brushes pushed the very light dirt around. If I put those up, there we go. I don't need to hold the machine, I don't need to hold the trigger down, I can just, I have to do this several times a week. You can get all the feathers from the bottom of the cage. Almost a daily job, the little flute feathers. Those of you with birds should understand, that wasn't even on its full power. Stick it back on though, because yeah, of course the tools do a lot of the work for the machine. So you don't need humongous power all the time, you just need decent tools. And yeah, look, we have a nice decent bit of dirt in our Greenote GSC60. Right, we'll do some more vacuuming with it, because we have 22% left. I think we shall run until it dies and then give it a charge. And there we go, we've just done 40% to 0% by just doing my entire downstairs. But of course this is the charge that it came with from the factory. So, I mean, this is how I keep it. I have a little spring clip on my charging station. So, it also fits just like the GSC50 used to. Although, you have to line the clip up, there we go. But you can take the battery out. All we have to do to charge it is to plug the battery in, stick it on my shelf of rubbish, find a spare plug, turn on the socket, and we are now charging up our battery. Come back in a couple of hours when it's at 100% and well, we'll carry on doing some vacuuming. this is quite a good time to talk about error messaging, because on this screen we have the battery percentage. However, if I accidentally suck up this shoelace, it takes a minute, but there we go, E3. E3 is brush roll jammed, for your reference. There's another error message as well, which is for the bin being full, but I'm not going to faff around making the bin full yet. We're just cleaning my upstairs completely normally, as I would do. And yeah, I think this is better on a carpet compared to the hard floor. If I'm being honest, it seems to be doing a lot more here. Okay. And this seems like a good opportunity to try and clean up here. Look, I'm on the top of the stairs and we have the little extension fitted to the wand, and yeah, I can reach all up in this back corner, which is notoriously difficult to clean. Very good indeed. And with this long crevice tool, well, I'm hoping that I can do things like get just underneath the front of my sofa, which you can't really do even with the normal crevice tool, because you'd have to have the machine down flat, whereas this, you can bend it. That's pretty nice. Get right down into my disgusting sofa. Yeah. Oh, we've got a cordless there. What's cordless? Something's not happy in that wand. There it is. Yeah, this nozzle does get significantly thin as it goes into it. So yeah, probably best for fine dust. But we've done the whole house now, and well, if we empty the bin, which it seems to have emptied itself, wonder how it's done that, we can see it's picked up an awful lot of dirt, which hasn't been put down. This isn't test dirt yet. This is just from my house. Let's see if we can pick it all back up again. Yeah. No problem at all. And yeah, we empty this, we can rotate the whole thing off and see that the filter does have a fair bit of dust on it. And again, if it had that outer mesh, like the GSC50 does, I think it might last a little bit longer before you need to fully wash the filter. But, yeah, there's still plenty of airflow. What if we can make the second error? Come on. Nope. So making the bin full error come up isn't as simple as just blocking it completely, which is fair enough. I wonder what this filter's like. Yeah, you see, that's still as new in there. So yeah, it's doing a fairly good job at keeping the dust out. Let's check the brush roll. What I did notice off camera is, well, A, the end cap comes off of the brush roll, so this is your end cap, and this is your brush roll. But look, there is some anti-hair wrap fins, an anti-hair wrap comb, whatever you want to call it, in there. Nothing written about it in the manual at all, so I might seek clarification from my Greenote contact as to whether they actually are anti-hair wrap fins or if they're for something else. But I still like the way that this brush roll comes in and out. Once I can get it lined up, there we go. That is very good indeed. And yeah, this whole machine is pretty good indeed. I'm finding myself putting my hand on that button down there quite a lot for the battery. Battery hasn't come off yet, and I'm not entirely sure that this handle grip is as nice as the GSC50, or maybe it's just my big hands, because obviously this is a button, so you don't need to hold it all the time, but you sort of have to, because that is how this machine likes you to hold it. But we have given it a good unboxing, we have given it a good demonstration. I'm going to pause this for now and stop recording and end it here, because in a couple of days it will be time for 12 vacuums in 12 months August. So I'll have given this a bit more of a go and clean the Greenote up, and we can, well, the other Greenote up, and say goodbye to it, and we shall make this our daily cordless vacuum of choice for the foreseeable future, and see if it continues to perform well or if anything rears its head. So, what do you think of Greenote's latest cordless vacuum cleaner? £140, direct from Greenote. These are at the time of filming this video, and I think that's a pretty reasonable price, considering that you get quite a good vacuum. I mean, it's a bit back heavy with this battery on. Bit of a shame, but it works. It doesn't quite stand up as well because it's a bit of a weight on the back, but in the hand it's fine. It's it's doable, and considering that all my other Greenote products have been spot on, I'm willing to give this a very good go for the next few months, and we'll see how it copes. So do you have a Greenote vacuum, or if you don't, what do you think of them after all the ones that I've shown you? Do let me know. And until the next time, and my Greenote vacuum cleaners, we'll see you soon. Bye bye.